Auto Obsessed here at the SEMA 2022 show at the Rag Company booth. Here meeting Levi.
Hey buddy, how are you?
Good
to see you again.
Excellent.
This has been a long time in the making, especially with COVID.
Exactly, yeah. We haven't been out for a couple of years and happy to be back.
We're happy to have you.
We've been with Rag Company now roughly about 7 years.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and a lot has changed in that 7 years.
A lot has.
And you know, a couple of things I'm really impressed with the Rag Company is constant changing, constant improvement. And you know, now I see we're switching over to all packaged individual towels now.
Yep.
Right? A lot of our clients love that. You can reseal them, and it's fresh, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? It's not on a box with a couple hundred towels.
Yeah, well, and you know,
right?
that's how it used to be, and it was great for, you know, shops who just need a quick grab and go, get a bunch of towels,
Right.
do their job.
Yeah.
But for folks like yourself who are our distributors, it kind of let everybody down a little bit,
Right.
in the
Yeah.
sense, because
Yeah.
you buy this money, spend the money, get the product, and you're like, oh, I got a couple towels in a bag.
Exactly.
You know, in a
Yeah.
clear plastic bag, or however we
Right.
you know, wrap it for everybody. And that kind of wasn't what we wanted. And so that was a huge undertaking. It took us 3 years of planning to get these totally finished and ready for production. And now we are almost there where we're almost completely out of bulk and now solely packaged towels.
Right.
And for those wondering, a lot of them are different. Each towel is basically developed as to how we were going to do the packaging. So some have 3 towels, some have 1 towel, some of our drying towels. Some are 5, some are a 10-pack, some are a 12-pack.
Right.
It just depends on how the towel could fit in the bag.
In the bag, and probably the purpose of the job.
Exactly.
Like you don't need 10 drying towels.
Right, exactly.
Right? But we need 10 value towels, let's say, right? Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this was a huge thing, and this was also not only a huge thing for our dealers and distributors, but we wanted to give our folks who are smaller dealers who maybe had just a detail shop at home or a small shop out of their business, they wanted to be able to have something that they could sell instead of just a stack of towels on the counter. Yeah. They now have some packaged product that they can give to the customer, and they don't have to worry about it getting lint and stuff when they throw them in the back of the car, or like you know, the little plastic grocery bags.
Right, exactly.
You know, this gives them a little more professional, brings the scale up a little more for the customer, and that's what we're all about.
Exactly, and it's safer too, right?
Yep.
I mean, we're using a detailing towel to take off wax, let's say, or use a quick detailer or a spray on the car. You know, you don't want a towel that may have been laying on someone's shelf for months, or in
like
a box,
dust or dirt.
Exactly, exactly. So we're really happy to see that. One thing too, and we talked earlier, one thing too about the Rag Company that stood out with me is it's not just the Rag Company purchasing from a vendor in Asia, whether it be China or Korea, and you're just kind of taking their product and just kind of, you know, handing it off to the next one. So maybe let's talk about that for a second.
So that's been one of the key things with the company in and of itself. When it was originally founded in 1999, Bev, who owned the company, she started the very first relationships with our 2 primary factories, one in China and one in South Korea. And she started those relationships right off the bat. And as the company grew, we kept those same 2 core factories to the point that now we are the only towel company or towel producer in that factory.
Right.
So those factories no longer have to make anybody else's other products. They primarily just make Rag Company products, which allows us to really take an idea on how we want the quality to be. We can dictate how they fold, how they package, and bringing on the packaging and doing that, because we had to buy the bags, send them to our factories, and we have 5 factories that now manufacture products for the Rag Company.
Right. Wow.
And so that was a huge undertaking in itself, because we had to teach them how to pack the towels in each bag, pack what towels go, how many, the quantities, all that stuff.
Right.
It is really huge in the scope of what it is, but it really boiled down to having to have that relationship laid out in the first place.
For sure.
And a lot of folks go, oh, I can just get towels anywhere. I can go on Alibaba, I can go and I can just grab stuff. Yeah, you can, but you're not going to get the level of quality. We watch our quality so high here at the Rag Company that a lot of people don't even think about it. And they get their first order, and they're like, hey, I got some towels, they're just like these guys and they're way cheaper.
Yeah.
And then they sell them and then they get the next order and they're completely different.
Well, that's what I was going to say, consistency.
Yes.
Because we've been doing this for 12 years.
Yep.
And you know, you've got a type of towel, and it's like this, and then all of a sudden,
It's not the same.
Hey, this changed. It's lighter. Like lighter GSM,
Lighter GSM,
maybe a different color,
cuts
like slightly
are wrong,
different color. Yeah,
edges are bad.
It's almost like they're BC grade too,
Yes,
and you're just
yeah.
like, what's going on, right?
Yep.
Now we do not see that with the rag company.
No.
So I know we've had conversations before with Jeff, and there's a lot. I know you guys do a lot behind the scenes to make sure.
Yeah, we're still
that
going to
we
have.
never see that.
Yeah, we're still going to have issues. It's
Right.
just manufacturing. It's
Right.
going to happen. But our goal is to try and limit the amount of defects that you'll see or have.
Right.
And that's where we really shine and where we really step forward is that quality control, as well as our customer service for whether you're buying from our website or you're buying from one of our distributors like you, Troy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, our goal is to make sure that, and you know, we have our UK distributor, we've got our Australian distributor back there, and the same thing. It's a question of where we are in the world. We want to always make sure that it's right.
Right.
100%.
Perfect. We've got some new products.
Couple new products.
Couple new
One of the
products.
biggest things is our clay. Clay bars have been around for 100 years. Well, we created a new clay bar for our folks, and one of the best clays I've ever used. The next thing we did was our clay towel. Now, clay towels have always, you know, they're not new technology, but we wanted to take and improve upon that technology, and so we fell in love with the Optimum clay towel.
Right.
And when Optimum decided to stop carrying this towel, we asked if we could buy it from them and license it from them. They said yeah. So we made it 2 inches bigger all the way around. So instead of a 10 by 10, it was a 12 by 12. And we basically made it ours. Rag Company Ultra Clay Towel. The cool thing about this pattern and the design of this is most clay towels are made with a very low quality terry towel. They use a very poor quality, and then they use black clay material and they throw it on there.
Right.
And that's the towel you're going to buy from many of the distributors and dealers around here.
Right.
And manufacturers. For us, we went with a very high quality fabric, and this is this very thick quilted jacquard style fabric. And the cool thing about it is it absorbs copious amounts of liquid. That does two things. One, it gives you enough media to be able to wash and clay, but it also allows it to be able to be porous because of the way the clay is, that liquid can flow through between the surface, which is really huge. The other thing is it's incredibly durable. So we're getting 50 to 100 cars, depending on how it's used. So if you're in a production shop and you're using this every day, there's a good possibility you'll get 100 uses or 100 cars out of this clay towel, which is a massive thing.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the great things is we developed was with the clay towel, we also brought on our clay mitt. So for well, that's the clay scrubber, but the clay mitt over there, that's all right. The clay mitt, same thing, but for folks who just want to be able to slide their hand in,
put your hand in
clean and scrub, same thing. And then the packaging is designed so all you got to do is dry these out. So when you're done using it, rinse it out, hang dry it, and it's ready to go again. You can fold it back up, put it back in the package. Same with this, we put vents on the back of the box so that it dries out and is reusable. It also has a great hang tag in there as well, so you can hang it when you're done and let it dry on a hook or something. Easy way to clean if you get them dirty. The reason it's blue instead of black is we want to be able to see
colors.
Yeah, one, it's our colors, but two, we want to be able to see the dirt and the decontamination process. So when we have clay bars, when you go and clean, you're like, oh my gosh, they have red overspray all over the car. It's in the clay. You see the red. If you're running a black clay towel or clay scrub or something, you're not going to see that. And so having the blue allows you to see and identify what you're removing from the vehicle, but also you can clean it by putting a little APC, scrubbing it with your hand, rinsing it out, and it's good to go.
And is there anything you have to do to break them in or prep them at first?
The first thing we do is we call it honing, and you hone it on glass. So best way we recommend is use a clay lube or your favorite rinseless wash or whatever you're using, and clean the glass. Rub it on the glass and pretend like you're cleaning all the glass. And I recommend people do that first before they touch their clear coat with it. Hit all the glass just to make sure
all the glass.
Just go around, and that way you've got, you know, that you've been able to handle any stray edges, any of those things. And the goal of that is it smooths the clay and seasons it so it's ready to go. It's the same thing with the clay towel. And then, so I've been a detailer for over 25 years, and I have horrific osteoarthritis. So it makes it a little more difficult for me to be able to hold on to things and do things day in, day out. And so we started thinking of other ways. How do we make stuff a little more ergonomic, a little more easier to use, a little more easier to handle? Well, with that clay, that same idea, we've developed a clay scrubber. And what we did was we took our clay and that same fabric up here. So we've got a very thick plush fabric on top to be able to absorb a lot of liquid. Then we took our famous bug scrubbers, which on the back has our Jersey bug scrubbers, we call it, and we put our Jersey bug on the back, so this can live in your wash bucket.
Oh, okay.
So this guy you can throw in your wash bucket. You can use this side for scrubbing all your bugs off. It's safe, it's effective, it's not going to scratch or harm the finish. But we've all been there. You're washing a car, you're getting ready to work on it, and as you're washing, you hear that, and it's half a fender. It's not the whole fender, it's only half, or it's part of the door, or it's just the roof, or it's only the passenger side. And you're like, oh man, now I got to clay this half. I wasn't planning on it. Well, now you've got this sitting in the bucket. You were already removing bugs with it on one side. You can pull it back out, same thing. Knock down your clay, whether you have just soap and water in the bucket or you have rinseless. It'll work either way for that. It can also work standalone with a proper clay lube. If you want to as well.
If you prefer that shape.
And the goal is like, I like the mitt because I can stick my hand in it and I can clay and I don't have to use my fingers. Same thing with this. It's a little easier to hold for me. I'm able to manipulate it better, but we also did an edge on it. So when you have to get into some of those body lines and creases, you have a section that you can still be able to work it. So we tried to make it as versatile as possible for our folks. And then we hid the seams so that way it's a little more seamless.
You don't want to rough, and you don't want to
and
rough
then have
edge.
any issues like
that.
But but this is our newest thing. It's great for cleaning glass, like your front windshield, because you get the bugs off and you can clean any of the contaminants that stick on it. Maybe you do a sealant or something, one step on the glass to help keep the water repellency
You could probably even take that with you on a road trip, right?
Yeah, you could. Yep, exactly. And that's one of the great things about it. Now this has its own packaging. This is one of the prototypes. And it'll be hitting our shores. It's on the water right now. And it'll be hitting the rag company hopefully by the end of the month.
It'll be in a plastic?
It'll be in one of the plastic cases as well with the branding and the stickers and
then you
everything.
can keep it in there.
And you'll be able to keep it in the box as well.
Excellent.
Excellent. And then one of the biggest things we did that was hot this year was the Pearl Pucks. So we paired with Autofiber, who's another one of the oldest manufacturers of microfiber as well, like us. They have their barrier material that is a patented barrier technology that they can put in between microfiber and foam. This allows ceramic coatings and liquids not to penetrate
to stay
into the sponge. It stays in the fabric. And for us, we make really good applicator sponges, but we don't have that barrier technology. Ian, on the other side, makes a ton of variations, but he doesn't have pearl weave. So we combined and made the Pearl Puck, as we call it. And again, it's hard for me to coat a car holding an applicator sponge or the old foam blocks with the suede. I can't do that anymore. So this was designed for ergonomics. It sits in your hand. It's almost like holding a softball. We've put a little thicker stitch on this end for folks who need to be able to have something to hold on to. But you can put your ceramic or or any type of coating on here, coat your car, and a lot of people go, oh, it's kind of round and it's circular. I don't know if it's going to work. So many people, as soon as they try it, they're like, oh my gosh, I never want to do a different ceramic coating applicator ever again. And that's one of the great things.
I was going to say, no one really thinks too, so with that barrier. Because you got a 30 ml bottle.
It saves product.
Most of them 30 ml, 50 ml bottle. And you see a lot of people using the foam or the sponge, but you could use a lot of product up inside the foam that you would never ever get to use on the car. So that barrier, it's only going to that level. No, that's a great idea.
And that, like I said, the ergonomics that's what it's for. It's to be able to like get that on, save you product, save you some time, and save your hands mostly.
And now I understand why that was there.
We call it like a stitch on a softball.
Okay.
That's what it's for.
Excellent.
But and then a lot of the other products, our normal UBS sponge, same thing, developed with me and Ivan LaCroix. Very similar to the big red sponge, and the ultra black, the ultra gold sponge, and all those. The big gold sponge. Ours is the ultra black, and it's cut. Same thing. ergonomics.
Cut to fit in your hand.
Fit in your hand and have a little more dexterity with it, because for me it's getting harder and harder after 25 years to be able to hold things for long periods of time, or compress my hands to be able to grab onto something. So I'm working on a lot of different things for our company to be able to make it more ergonomic, because if I'm having the problems and there are new detailers entering the market every day, if I can make their life easier, that's all that really matters.
No, that's great.
But
well, appreciate everything.
Of course.
Levi.
Thank
you,
Troy.
Always a pleasure.
Always good to see you, man. It's been too long.
It's been too long, exactly.
Well, good. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yep.